All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakodash, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem outside. All right, and what I want to get into, this morning, is dealing with, you know, blind watchmen. Blind watchmen, man, and it comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 56 and verse 10. Okay, and you look out, amongst our people, and you look at their leadership, which most of their leaders, you have, the Christian pastors, celebrities, okay, podcasters, okay, and they're all dumb dogs, okay. They have no, all right, impact when it comes to warning the people. They have no effect, okay. They don't have no purpose when it comes to warning of what's really going on, all right. So when you go to Isaiah 56 and 10, it said, "For the leaders of my people, the Lord's watchmen, his shepherds, are blind and ignorant." Okay? So the leaders, okay, of Jake, these people that Jake put as their watchmen. Because Jake set these people as their watchmen. There's people that's looking at Charleston White, okay, or some mega pastor, or their local pastor, or some celebrity, or some podcaster, okay, to tell them how to move. Okay, I looked at something the other day. All right, what's that nigga? That feminine nigga, man. Saint versus sinner, Marquis. Yeah, that nigga Marquis. He trying to go into Iran and the Israel and the small head sigil. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, man. Okay, he didn't know what the hell he was talking about, man. You see? But you have thousands, a million people watching this nigga, thinking that they getting put on. Okay, or you got on the other side, you go to a Christian church, they're not talking about anything. Okay, you go to the Christian church, this nigga might be telling you about the midterms, man. Like, that's a factor in what's going on in the earth, man. Okay? So our people, all right, are just being led to a slaughter. As the scriptures say, if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into the ditch, man. And the ditch is going to be Jacob's trouble, civil unrest, and the nuclear destruction, man. Okay, tribulation, man. The wrath of Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. Jacob's finna fall into the hands of a living power for wrath, man, for judgment. Okay? When you keep reading, it says, they are like silent watchdogs that give no warning when danger comes. They love to lie around sleeping and dreaming. Okay? And most of these people hope for a better America, man. Okay, these podcasters, they're not telling you that the solution is America being destroyed. All right, Esau and these heathens going into captivity. They're not telling you the solution of the matter. They might can point out a few things and sound, like they on point, but they're not telling you the solution of the matter. Okay? They're still, all right, pushing you to describe and thrive in America, man. Okay? As if money is the fix all to the situation that's happening in the earth, man. No, the Lord finna judge the earth, man. World War III has started. And it's gonna continue to escalate and escalate and escalate, man. And it's gonna wreak havoc on the global economy. Okay? Eventually crash it, because they gotta crash it to bring something new. Okay? So this is what's coming down the pipe. Okay? See, we way beyond, okay, trying to figure out, the modern woman. That's still a major topic amongst people dating. We way past that, man. We way past that, but see, that's a main topic. Like, that's people's main topic why real prophecy is happening, man. Okay? Going 50-50. Something crazy, something irrelevant, man. Or like I said, your pastor, he might be telling you to pray for Israel. Completely blind. Pray for the small hats, man. You know, as if praying for those people puts you in good standings with, all right, the God of the Bible. And that's the thing too, man. The Christian church doesn't know the God of the Bible. They don't know the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. Okay, they've been given this watered down, fabricated deity, the generic God, all right, and the Jesus character has nothing to do with the scriptures, man. When you go into the true doctrine of the scriptures, man. Okay, and that's why we don't deal with the name of Jesus Christ, man, because you hate saying that name. Okay, but there's a doctrine surrounding that name that has nothing to do with the scripture. That name puts a certain vibration on you, man. Okay, and you see the people that teaching that name, even those that know they're Israelites. And there's even Israelites that are blinded, man. Okay, ISUPK, IUIC, you see, and others, they're blinded, man. They're not tapping into prophecy of what's really happening in real time, what the Lord is doing in the earth, man. Okay? It's all about, the optics. Okay? It's all about the presentation. You see? The appearance. Okay? But when it comes to sound doctrine, when it comes to prophecy being at the forefront, man, a lot of these other guys ain't into that, man. Okay, there's people that's in these big organizations, these Israelite organizations, don't have a clue of what's going on. Don't have a clue of what's right here at the door. Gas is going up by the day. It can't keep going up like that without having a major ripple effect on everything, man. Okay, it can't keep trending like that and not have a major effect on everything, man. You see? So what you have amongst the majority of our people, the men, the people whom they set up as their leaders and their watchmen, okay, they're blind. Okay? They got you comfortable. Okay, your biggest concern is the next cookout. Okay? The next debate. You see? The next fashion show, the Hebrew Israelite fashion show. That's your biggest concern. Okay, in these serious times that we're in. Alright, so you keep reading. It say, like greedy dogs, they are never satisfied. They are ignorant shepherds, all following their own path and intent on personal gain. Okay, because these people that are blind watchmen, okay, they're profiting, okay, off of your ignorance, man. Okay, it's another thing. Jake's so lazy, don't look into nothing themselves, man, that they're susceptible to be guided by anybody. Matter of fact, the scriptures say, let's get this real quick, dealing with Jake. When you go to the book of Micah, chapter 2. Okay. In verse 11, it says, if a man walking in the spirit of falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and strong drink. Okay? Which is a false doctrine, it's a delusion. Okay? A false understanding. So it said, if a man walking in the spirit of falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people, man. Okay? So Jake has mastered, all right, the image of knowing what he's speaking about, man. Because Jake know how to put on the act. So a lot of these men, they've mastered, all right, manipulating and pushing as if they know exactly what they're talking about, man. Okay, and if it sounds good, and then if it don't require Jake to have no accountability, if it don't require Jake to change, okay, but just by listening and Jake think they own or something, man, Jake all for it, man. Okay, Jake all for these smooth words in these times. And Jake think just because, that they're oblivious, okay? Jake think just because they're oblivious to what's going on, all right, that's gonna put them in a good place, man. That ignorance is bliss spirit, man. You know, Jake think because they don't talk about certain things or they just dismiss certain information because it's harsh. You know, America being destroyed by thermonuclear fire, everything, America being turned to a desert. Well, hey, the common man can't. You see, we gotta be built a certain way. To take heed to this word. Okay, to consider, man, you gotta be built a certain way, man. Jake ain't built to hear that. A lot of our people ain't built to hear that, man. Okay, the lights out in America, man. The civil unrest, the teeth of wild beasts, the pestilence, the famines, cannibalism, like that. Jake not trying to hear all that, man. Jake wanted to hear, okay, we can win the midterms. Okay, we get some Democrats in midterms, we can swing this thing back. We can start undoing, what Trump doing, and then we can get the economy back. We get this policy. We go march for this. Okay. See, that's the type of thinking that Jake is on, man. Okay. Jake wanted to hear an immediate improvement in the right now, which is the wine. All right, this strong wine is a strong delusion. If you think this place is going to continue on without being judged by Yahweh Bashim Shai, if you think this place is going to continue on, if you still believe in, the games, the voting, okay, Christianity, okay, you're still out there, you see, trying to fix the nigga one, whatever you into, man. Okay, trying to turn around the community nah, man, that's a delusion. Okay, it look good for optics. Someone passed by, see you painting, a boys and girls club. Okay, it look good for optics, man, but we got serious matters at hand. We got way more heavier matters at hand. Okay, and if that's what you do on your off time, okay. But but pushing that as if that's gonna move the needle in our circumstances, man, that's off, man. And you're blind. Okay? You're blind to the fact, man, that that's irrelevant in the times that we're in. Christianity is irrelevant, man. Okay? Trying to improve the community is irrelevant, man. Okay? Arguing about going 50-50, that's irrelevant. Okay? So we come to a time, it's going to be 0-0. We ain't going to have nothing. Okay? We got to be ready to give up everything, man. And depend on the Lord. You see? So, our people, they choose these particular leaders or people to follow, these charismatic, these charismatic niggas. And, niggas always traveling and it's a new city, so it's like, I want to be like this nigga. Let me listen to this nigga, man. Okay, but when it comes to telling you what's really happening according to the will of the Lord, man, they don't got it. Okay, and that's vital in these times, man. Understanding prophecy. Okay, and having faith in the provisions of Yahweh Bashim Shai. That's key coming down the stretch, man. Okay, but let's go here. Isaiah 56 and 12, it says, "Come," they say, "let us get some wine and have a party. Let's all get drunk. Then tomorrow we'll do it again and have an even bigger party, man." Okay? And that's just a continuation of things like they are. Because you talk to a Christian, man, you wouldn't think nothing was going on. You talk to people in your family as Christians, man, and they just planning this and doing this and They speak as if nothing is happening in the world. Like things are just like they are. Like things are just going to always continue just like they are. Like they're always going to have this convenience. Like, look, let's enjoy this convenience. Let's take this opportunity. Let's start an app. Whatever. There's all these ideas and schemes and get rich schemes. But it's all the wine of Babylon, man. Still chasing this fantasy of the comfortable life in America, man. Okay? And we're coming into the most uncomfortable times that the earth has ever seen according to the Bible. Okay? So a lot of our people, okay, they're following vanity, man. Okay? Jake has no watchman. Okay? And Jake is just out here blind in the worst time ever. Okay? So, yeah, just wanted to tap into that. The Wadi how about Shema Shah, that we're allowed, to walk in the light. Matter of fact, let's end on there dealing with Yahweh Shah. It's the book of St. John, chapter 8. Alright. In verse 12. It said, Then spake Yahweh Shah again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life, man. Okay? So we're on the path to immortality, man. Well, our people are let's create the simple. Okay? The simple shall pass on and be punished, man. Okay? As a wise man, matter of fact, let's get that. Proverbs 22. I don't want to butcher it. Proverbs 22 and 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. Okay? And following Yahweh Shai, that's how we're able to foresee the evil. We're walking in light. We see exactly what's going on. All the plays in the earth that's being made. Okay, all these events. We know what they're leading up to. We know what the devil is trying to do. But we know what the Lord has promised. Okay? And we know the events that's set to take place leading up to the second coming of Yahweh Shai, man. The Spirit has us tapped into these things, was making us prudent so we can foresee the evil. And we hide ourselves in our power, man. Okay? Constantly separating from this world and tapping into our power, man. That's us hiding ourselves, man. Okay? But the simple pass on and are punished, man. Alright? And the majority of our people, they willingly remain simple because Jake don't want how to deal with the accountability with righteousness, man. With being a disciple, the discipline that comes with being and following Yahweh Shai. Okay, the sacrifice that comes with that. Okay? So, we in the time now, man, where a lot of our people, okay, are going to be simple, alright, willingly, and just pass on and be punished. Okay? But there's an elect that the Lord has prudent walking in Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? It's going to be delivered. The Lord's getting ready to work miracles in these times, man. Okay? So, Lord will, you brothers, alright, and you sisters edified till next time I say Shalom. Kwon Yashala, Abba, Soon, Shalom.